It is indeed a pleasure to have this privilege to play here for you. And we intend to give you a very fine program, so just settle back, relax, and enjoy the moment.
Good morning. It's a crazy morning. Already. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So much to get to. It's Monday. Let me check in on Facebook. Thank you for joining me on Mic'd Up. Let's see, we live? Are we live? Just wanted to, we need to get to a bunch of things, but more importantly, we just need to. Ooh, good morning, Nicole. Good. Thank you so much for chiming in the chat. I'm trying to hit refresh on Facebook, see if we're live over there. So much going on this weekend. I just want to say shout out to all the organizers. Shout out to all the organizers that have been organizing everything from Justice for Palestine, who have been just organizing around the South Carolina school system. I know that there was a SC for Ed rally that was recently shut down, or y'all canceled it. What up, Justin? What up, Whiskey Neat? I know there was a lot of things going on. So this weekend there was some pro-Palestinian protests that I definitely want to get into. There's a lot going on, and then it's a beautiful week. Let's just do what we used to do. We're gonna get back into a little bit of our routines, right? I ain't got no makeup on. I know I look wow. Good morning. So it's a beautiful week. I wanna say that, and for all those organizers, again, I want to lift you up. All the work you've been doing last week, all the work you did yesterday specifically, especially amid a lot of police surveillance, a lot of police presence. Charleston PD was doing the absolute most. I'm trying to make sure my video is shareable. Make it public. Boom. Video is public. Let me go ahead and share it to the Charleston Activist Network page. Yeah. Cool. Let me share it to my old page that I still manage. Let me share it to some old pages I still manage. Shake them white folks up. All right. Good morning, y'all who are watching on Facebook. I appreciate you for hopping in here and getting it started. So it's gonna be a beautiful week to organize. So if you've been out there organizing since last week, of course the Jamal Sutherland case, the tape drop, we talked about that at length. We will continue to talk about that. We're gonna center that a little bit. Hey Jazz, I see you on Facebook. What's up, Tracy? What up, CT? If you're on Facebook watching, good morning. And good morning. Okay, so this is the forecast for the week, y'all. Beautiful week to organize. That's the energy, and I'm not gonna let up on that energy. Beautiful week to organize. So however you get it. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, D. Good morning, Meg. Over on Twitch. However you get it. This is a beautiful week to organize, a beautiful week to build and create community and take care of your community by being intentional. Shout out to everyone who subscribes to the Charleston Activist Network newsletter. If you never have, if you would like, you know what, I might sign up. If you follow me on IG, head to the link in the bio on my Charleston Activist Network Instagram account, and you'll see CAN newsletter, Charleston Activist Network newsletter. Go ahead and sign up. I just sent one out moments before I went live here, and I'm going to annoy a lot of my subscribers by sending out maybe a couple more. There's some interesting news regarding organizing efforts spearheaded by super sound, super solid, dope group of folks. I'm a part of this coalition. Y'all know if I put my name on it, if I'm standing next to it, I trust it to a degree, I guess. But this one, I trust 100%. We've been working painstakingly for a while to put together some really dope demands of what we're asking for. I'm going to cover them a little bit. We are trying to be careful about how we disseminate information, because the ops is lurking. People are out here watching. And so if you also want more information about local efforts that I'm a part of, y'all know I don't promote rallies like that, right? But if you want more information on efforts, a lot of y'all have asked me via DM, how can I be down? DM me on Instagram, DM me on Twitter. Find my email address. Is in the Instagram bio, and I will send you all that information. So just get at me in my DMs, and I will send you information about organizing efforts. And if you got the newsletter this morning, you already know about the first one, right? If you got the newsletter this morning, that went out at like 7:28, 7:30. You already got it. So it's a great week to get out there and start mobilizing. Look, Charleston is like, if you're a fan of the Avatar, like I am, Nickelodeon Avatar, right? Not the movie. If you're a fan of The Last Airbender, you know that Charleston is a lot like Ba Sing Se. So it's like, oh, nothing's going on here. Everything's fine. Oh, no. Right? And so it's time to disrupt that thing. We're not talking about violence. We're not talking about damage in buildings. That's the narrative that the media and some other stakeholders have tried to foist upon groups that I'm affiliated with. Absolutely not. No one's advocating for violence. I do believe in righteous rebellion. I do believe in holding folks accountable. I'm gonna switch up. I do believe in righteous rebellion. I think we need to study and honor rebellion more, not mimic and try to replicate rebellion, right? Not romanticize rebellion either. All rebellion, almost all rebellion that has ever happened, that has ever occurred in Charleston historically, has been put down viciously and violently. If you were in my book club, you know that I've said that. I've reiterated that along my platforms. But I think that we need to study rebellion, like why did folks rebel? What were they rebelling against? What systems were they trying to dismantle? Why did they take an aggressive approach? Those are things we need to seriously center and honor. And I think we don't do that enough. That's why I think there is an epidemic of cowardice, that I feel is prevalent, especially among our lawmakers who purportedly, try to whatever. They're supposed to advocate for us. All right, so I popped this up here. It's an excellent resource. Y'all know I love sharing resources. If you see me post any statistics, if you see me post any numbers, any names, best believe I've just researched it. Shout out to Jessica. That Washington Post subscription, Jessica, is getting a hell of a workout. Okay. Thank you, D, for that comment. That Washington Post subscription. And so Washington Post forever have been, at least for the last year, they've been tracking officer related shootings and whatnot, right? So they have this Fatal Force series. They have this Fatal Force. It's a database here, right? And it's really staggering. Like, I want to just say this right now. You see 970 people have been shot and killed by police in the last year. I don't put that up on my screen lightly. And this was updated May 13th. This is not something I put up here and I don't like to luxuriate in this space. This is a problem. And like I've been saying, this is not just a black problem. They're killing white folks too, right? So I want to jump to some of the data I've been using, and then we're going to jump to local news, right? Real quick. So I just want to put y'all on. Try to get access to this. Again, I have a subscription thanks to my beautiful, wonderful followers. Shout out to all my new Patreon followers too. Shout out to my Patreon followers. Shout out to y'all that have been upping y'all fucking, I didn't mean to curse that early. Shout out to y'all that I feel so strongly. Shout out to y'all that have been just changing your pledges. I've seen a lot of people change from $2 to $5 or from $5 to $10. Whew, you don't know what that is, just really going right back into other newspaper subscriptions, other tools, MailChimp, everything. So thank you so much. But let me hop into this database real quick. And shout out to all the students that reached out and say, yo, I got you. I'm going to do the research. So more research to come, and I will cite my sources because I am not doing this by myself. But this fatal force database is really interesting. It shows you all of the police killings, shootings happening across the country. You can see, of course, where population is more dense, where those numbers seem to really pop. Let's look at the South. Let's look at the rural South, or the South rather. Here's 21 shootings per million in Georgia. Let's go to us. 20 shootings per million in South Carolina. And then right here, you see, this is the number I've been touting all weekend. 96 shootings since 2015. So since Walter Scott, there have been 96 killings by police. So you can go here and just whittle down by state. I'm putting y'all on game. All y'all who already swagger jacking my stuff anyway, give me some more stuff to jack. And because I do want you to copy and paste this shit. All right, so you can click on South Carolina, and this is a really interesting breakdown right here, right? Now you can do by fleeing the scene. All that to me doesn't matter. Race does matter, but but look at this breakdown right here. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Can y'all tell I had espresso this morning? I can. I almost bit my tongue just now. All right, so let's blow this up a little bit. All right, so you have 96 people killed since 2015, shot and killed by police since 2016 in South Carolina, right? And then there's another bit, like 6,000 people who don't match the filters. All right, but this is a good place to start. And then you look at the race breakdown. You've got 60 white people shot and killed by police, and you've got 28 black. Now, when you look at that, right, that's like, oh shit, right? But also I don't know, y'all have to drop in the chat if you have this information at your disposal. How much, like, we know the population, like we're not the majority. Black people, what's our percentage? What content you talking about, Jazz? Like this right here, or my email? Email, yeah. Just share via email. If you're talking about that, but tell me what you're talking about. But yeah, so if someone could break down what's the percentage of black folk? IG for sure. Anything on IG you can share. Whatever the population is, this looks real clunky, but it looks like more than twice as many white people have been killed by police. Twice as many white people than black people have been killed by police since 2015. But if you break that down by population, that's staggering at 28 people, given the portion of the population we make up in South Carolina. But when you go through these, right, what I like about this database, it not only gives you more details about the age, right, and you could break it down by race, is what I did yesterday. Right, so I broke it down and we have this one right here. Of course, the latest was Jason Cooper, and then you have like certain details here. Now, I did find this to be a little problematic because they do tell you, well, if they were armed or not, and it seemed to be almost every single police shooting seemed to be armed, right? But almost every single one listed didn't have dash or body cam. So my whole thing is not to say that, the police are just outright lying, even though we do know the police does outright lie. It's interesting. It feels like a concerted effort to concoct a narrative that's been consistent throughout the state. And that consistent narrative is, they were armed. They had a knife. But we don't know. And what we saw, and I lifted up the name of Laura Jean Ellis, in that case from 2008, they lied so much about her. She was shot in the back of the head. They said she was just shooting and shooting. That was a shootout on law enforcement, just like they said with Jason Cooper. But then when they found out, when evidence was revealed, it wasn't like that. It didn't go down like that. So it's just a little misleading if you just take it at face value. But this is the publicly reported information. As you can see, what I also like about this database is it includes the local media sources at the bottom that have reported on the shootings. And so you can go back there, and again, you'll see some problematic reporting. You'll see some suspicious framing, right? And again, like fleeing or not fleeing, dude, like people, we have to understand that police do not get to just have extra, just not get to kill, do not get the, they should not be allowed to just kill people with impunity. They should not be able to act as, we say this often, police, judge, jury, executioner. Like, they can't occupy all those roles, right? So it's just interesting. But I advise you all to check out this database if you can. It's really, really interesting. Maybe you can use your library card to access that. Shout out to my girl down in Colleton County. Oh my God, I'm drawing like a blank. Shout out to oh my gosh. Dang, I get tongue tied. Let me see real quick. Taisha, goddamn, Taisha. Shout out to Taisha, who's been advocating for Derek Smith ever since this shooting happened down in Walterboro. Shout out to Taisha Aiken for lifting up this and still fighting with the police, still fighting with the sheriff's department down in Walterboro in Colleton County. And it says unknown mental illness. It was reported that he had issues with mental illness. So just the issue here, it's too many names. It's sad. It's really sad. And like when you see the ages are really, really sad. Yeah, 68-year-old man, allegedly armed with a gun. No body cam though. 35, 31, 56-year-old, 35, 23-year-old, 52-year-old, 55-year-old. Right. Okay. So let's bounce out of that. I just want to push y'all onto that. Please make sure you look into that. Do your research when you're organizing out here. If your organizing is not built on research, I'm probably not going to be around y'all. This is the Post and Courier digital edition today. I'm really going to jump into this story right here with the superintendent story. Definitely want to jump into there. Avery Brooks is on that. Let's close that out and hop into the front page. This was interesting. I'm going to go take it back to Saturday. So this was the front page of Saturday's paper. They covered the press conference that took place on Friday, which was a complete circus. I wanted to go live so bad, but I was at work, and we're going to hop into a little bit of that now in a second. But this is the coverage. I'm surprised they put this on the front page. And they also have the sheriff's press conference. This picture right here was taken at the press conference that the sheriff Kristen Graziano had on Friday. I was there, and something interesting happened while we were there. We were asked to come back after the press conference ended. Fernando, myself, Letitia from Black Liberation Fund, and a host of others were asked to come in the back and to quote unquote sit at the table. We did not sit at the table. But we had an interesting discussion, but I'll hop into that in a second. Let me go back real quick. Oh, they're going to do it like this. Oh, let me just do it like this. All right. So then we're going to look at Sunday's paper. Sunday's paper, again, the Jamal Sutherland case is front page above the fold, below the masthead. But then you have the other investigative reporting here. Again, we're going to hop into this. I'm going to tell y'all, black men in power, y'all are tripping. Y'all be tripping, taking bags. Y'all gotta chill. That's in Fairfield. Shout out to my girl Rachel in Fairfield County holding it down. Rachel, I'm going to hit you. If you're watching, I'm going to hit you up, Rachel, because we need to talk about this. I know you know the scoop. So maybe if they got it wrong, let me know, Rachel. But Jamal Sutherland's on the front page of the Sunday paper. And then let's take a look at today's paper. Did you have you asked me, did I have a website for that? The police killings. It's the Washington Post. It's called Fatal Force. Washington Post Fatal Force. It's a database that they have. I didn't list the website, but I'll share it. I'll try to share it. Again, this is the front page of the Post and Courier. I want us to all as a collective keep an eye on how news is framed, especially in printed media. Now that the PGA festivities have begun, let's keep an eye on how they frame news moving forward to see what they're doing, because I have a feeling they're going to make folks feel good, feel comfortable, feel at home, feel safe. Oh, it's Ba Sing Se, nothing's going on here, all that. I'm going to close that out, and we're going to get into some local reporting. Yeah, thank you. No problem, D. We're going to get to some local reporting. I kind of want to take it back. Let's take it back to a news clip that I actually found last week, like last Wednesday or Thursday. And then I never got to it because all of Jamal Sutherland news broke. But for those who follow me on Instagram, well, I posted this on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter after I captioned it. But I'm going to go ahead and play it from my IG page. I want to say real quick, real quick that, hold on one second. Yeah, I want to say real quick that this following clip contains graphic images of violence against Black bodies. So viewer discretion. If you got kids watching over your shoulder, looking at your iPad with you, just know that this is going to be violent police interaction. So I just want to say that. I'm going to mute it.
To fight his charges after a Berkeley County Sheriff's A Goose Creek man vowing to fight his charges after a Berkeley County Sheriff's deputy mistook him for a suspect in a stabbing but arrested him anyway. Nick Reagan talked with the victim, who says this has happened before.
Dashcam footage shows a Berkeley County Sheriff's deputy pulling up behind Justin Paul. The deputy is heard saying Paul fits the description of a suspect wanted in a stabbing. Paul says there was only one part of the suspect's description that he fit.
My skin color. It don't matter about your clothes anymore, because as second time you can see that clothes don't matter about a description. It's basically that person who they're stereotyping.
Paul was on his way to get a drink at a gas station on Red Bank Road Tuesday night when it happened. A statement from the sheriff's office says Paul was given a lawful command to stop walking away.
This is wild, yo. This makes me mad.
In the video, you see the deputy forcefully throw Paul to the ground and place his knee on Paul's back.
So it's going to be the knee, then it's the gun. So I was like, okay, here's the knee. Now what's next? The gun?
Minutes later, this
from
the dash cam audio.
I know it's wild over there, but that's not our suspect, correct?
That's not our suspect.
This is not our suspect, so when you turn that back up.
This is the second time this happened. The first time this happened was the same reason. It was misidentification.
A Goose Creek police officer is seen telling the deputy that Paul is not the suspect. That deputy says Paul resisted being detained and is going to jail anyways. In Berkeley County, Nick Reagan, Live 5 News.
A Goose Creek man vowed.
Okay. Yeah, that pissed me off, right? It pissed you off because they got the wrong suspect. Instead of taking that L, instead of like admitting fault, you went ahead, because I feel like this is some of the judgment that police employ when they get caught up in the air and they find themselves either overreacting or assessing situations so like incorrectly. I feel like they have to follow through to justify the use of force or the excessive use of force. And shout out to Justin Paul. I don't show any of these things without a heavy heart and thinking of the people who are victims of this. And like he said, this is not his first time being stopped by police, right? And it's about ego. Yep, Jessica over here on Twitch. It's about ego. Right? And that power. And again, that warrior mentality. So if you're a warrior, if you view yourself as a warrior, law enforcement, then everyone else is an enemy combatant. Everyone who doesn't have your uniform on is potentially an enemy combatant, especially when you layer in implicit bias and bias in general, or you just, like Justin said, like Justin like nailed it so many times. He was like, he named stereotyping. He named other incidents where there was mistaken identity and misidentification. And if you saw his behavior, it's like, have y'all ever walked out of a store and you didn't steal nothing, and the buzzer goes off and you might stop and look and like, well, I know I ain't steal nothing, so I ain't gonna look guilty and go back. I don't do that. I know some people might run back, oh my God, what happened? I don't do that. I know I didn't steal nothing. Right. And so I just walked my ass to the car. I got my receipt right here. They got me on camera. If I stole something, they come and get me. But like, imagine if you did that, right? You didn't steal something, and then a security guard from that department store or that big box retail establishment, imagine if they tackled you or like grabbed your arm, which is illegal, by the way. You got a lawsuit if they do that. But like, especially if you didn't steal nothing, you got a lawsuit. But imagine I would wave. I'm like, who you touching? Like, why you touching me? I'm just going to the gas station. I'm just making my purchases, like Justin Paul, right? His reaction to me makes so much sense. I ain't no criminal. I walk down the street to go get a soda pop or whatever, and I'm walking my black ass home. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I didn't commit no crime. And then they say he resisted, gave a lawful order. It's lawful for me to fucking walk. So your lawful order, like, I don't care about that. It's lawful for me to walk, right? So we have to start checking this power. The police think that they can just continuously stop people and harass them. And again, we know that this type of policing, black people are seen as limited things. Like, they either need to be working, they need to be very compliant and docile. And whenever a police officer comes, it's just so reminiscent of those slave patrols, like where they could check your papers if you weren't wearing your slave badge in Charleston, the Carolinas, where that shit originated. Excuse me for cursing too. I already gave a warning. If y'all got kids, I'm sorry. But yeah, that pissed me off. So I wanted to show that video before we hop into more local news. I don't know if I'm gonna get to this part. This was just kind of Al Jazeera's coverage of I don't even like how this is framed, Israeli-Palestine in conflict, because then it's not whatever. But I don't know if I'm gonna get to this, but we will get to local organizing efforts that are pro-Palestinian. All right, so I wanted to also head over to Facebook first. Before we hop into local news, hop over to Twitter, to look at some of the communication coming out of Charleston PD since the weekend. They've been very, very, shout out to Shaquille that is in a coalition that I'm part of. Shaquille caught this and made me laugh. Hootsuite, right? So they're pre-planning their propaganda that comes out. And it says, oh wow, I blocked somebody. Who I'm blocking? Oh. Yeah, look at this. There's a lot of people out here just looking for trouble. They really are. But yeah, so this is the police. They made this statement this week. So every time there's a rally or protest, they're coming out with, hey, this group came together and we left them alone, guys. No one got harassed. There was no excessive force here, you guys. We let them. We like almost like, hey, we let them come in and exercise their First Amendment rights. We don't need you to issue a statement every time a group of people get together and exercise their rights, but they're trying very hard with these pre-planned posts and this effort to put this stuff out. Okay, so good morning. It's a beautiful day in Charleston. Look at this bullshit. And if you saw, shout out to Marcus McDonald, who shared in private communication, who shared a video of what King Street looked like over the weekend. It looked like a military occupation. That's so funny, right? Like, King Street looked a hot mess. Like, there was nothing but police as they rerouted King Street and closed down all these different things. The police were everywhere. And last night there was a little bit like that when I went through downtown last night. And it was a little bit, they had certain signage up, electronic signage and all that other stuff. But they are doing the absolute most, y'all. Good morning. A beautiful day in Charleston. CPD wants to remind citizens that it will, without waiver, continue to protect our citizens' rights to demonstrate peacefully. It won't stop. It just won't stop, the propaganda, right? So, and then here's the 9 p.m. This is the last one I'm going to share. This is what happened last night or this weekend, like Friday and Saturday. Be a part of the 9 p.m. routine. Remove valuables from your vehicles. Lock your doors. Do your job. Minority Report, do your job. Look at this 9 p.m. routine. Lock it up. Yeah, or okay. Yeah. So this is like, again, whoever's working on it, like social media and graphics, yo, chill out with this bullshit. This shit is horrible. We give y'all all this money for y'all budget, and this is what y'all do? Ugh. Here come more propaganda. What's this? Huge thank you to the Charleston Police Department family group for providing subs and chips. Okay, whatever. All right, enough propaganda. Just wanted to show y'all that. This onslaught of this campaign to make it look like they're not violent. Just remember that the police is still, they still have an issue with excessive force. They still have an issue with shutting down protests, lawful assembly. They still have an issue with harassment and surveillance across social media. They also, too, remember, like, whatever they post publicly is not exactly in sync with what they share privately with the CVB and private meetings that they have with the mayor and other officials. And of course, I expect them to have private meetings, but there's a lot of sentiments that actually contradict what they've posted here publicly on Twitter, at least. Okay. All right. So let's hop into the news. Cover some things that popped off since Friday. I'm gonna look at the chat over here in Twitch. Meanwhile, people are getting stabbed, sexually assaulted. Hello. Yes, they are. All right. There's one thing I wanted to hop back to real quick. Let me see. Oh my gosh. So many people reacted to the Jamal Sutherland thing. I wanted to get a snippet of the press conference. This is the whole press conference. I wanted to get just a more concise reporting of that press conference. Let me see, family member. Here we go. Let's go right here.
While a family is in mourning, reliving the day that Jamal Sutherland died, they say he's more than a victim. He was a good man who would give the shirt off his back for a friend. News 2's Kate Prestag found out who he was and the legacy his family says he leaves behind.
The family telling us they want the Lowcountry to remember their son and brother for the way that he lived.
He was a man of God.
Shout out to Miss Amy Sutherland, Jamal Sutherland's mother. Shout out to her. I can only imagine what she's going through. Can feel her pain. Can feel her pain tremendously.
How many men you know hollering hallelujah when they're going to jail?
Amy Sutherland says her son Jamal was a good, God-fearing man who would give someone the clothes off of his back if needed. Even more, he was bright.
Jamal had enough sense to say, you didn't read me my rights. He may have been mentally ill, but he
said a couple of things. He said he requested for his medication, and he said you didn't read me my rights, or some things like that, right? So there was a couple things that really struck me about where, that he was in distress, but also like able to communicate some things that were so troubling.
Brilliant.
Jamal's mother noting that his illness did not constitute his death certificate.
Mental illness does not give anybody the right to put their hands on my child. That's my child. I love my child.
In honor of their child comes a call for action.
There needs to be policy change.
Shout out
across the board.
Shout out to the father.
That change stemming from legislation that was filed ahead of the end of.
Okay, this is where I'm gonna get a little spicy. Definitely want to hold the family, still holding the family, still thinking of the family, and thinking about what they've been asking for directly. Thinking about the pleas from Miss Amy, the pleas made by Miss Amy Sutherland and Jamal's father. His name escapes me at the moment, but this is where I want to weigh in and give a little commentary on the response from local lawmakers.
Of the legislative session, called the Justice for Jamal Sutherland Act, the act will take a hard look at the policies used in the criminal justice system and lay out exactly how each case specifically, those who are being arrested and taken to a mental health facility, should be handled in the future.
We immediately went to legal counsel at the State House and just told Jamal's story and figured out where was the gap in
Fernando, you watching?
The system that led to his death, and that's what we are.
And while the legislative process will take time, as the session resumes in January, Amy Sutherland asked one request.
Ask those of you who knew your part in my son's murder to do the right thing.
The Justice for Jamal Sutherland Act was just one of the 3 pieces of legislation filed, each touching on aspects from mental health to the criminal justice system. In studio, I'm Kate Prestak. Count on 2.
Okay, yeah, that's J.A. Moore. So let me just see if I can just get a still of the. No, you can't really get it here, but we're gonna actually go back to some other video. That was J.A. Moore. You saw Marvin Pendarvis on the floor of the State House. Let me see. I played it this morning to myself. Let's see. No, we don't want that. Let me see this real quick.
South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster released a statement, and that statement reads in part, Jamal Sutherland's death is a tragedy.
Now, let me go back to my history because I know I played it this morning. Real quick. We're going to play this. Actually, this is good. This will have some of the...
Our team coverage continues. The Charleston County Sheriff speaking today for the first time since that video was released. News 2's Riley Benson was there, joins us live from the Charleston County Courthouse. And Riley, the sheriff says her goal is to be completely transparent.
Real quick, D, you said, why is everyone acting like this, like saying immediately? You're right. 5 months. 5 months. DU says Pepper was doing it at the presser. Exactly. It was so weird. And Pepper did that knowing that he had folks sign an NDA. So it was so disingenuous to talk about immediacy and hurrying up, but you had folks locked in an NDA. Even if you're suing the jail and the county and all that, and there's mediation going on, I would venture to say that NDA with those specific details that were disclosed to the media, at least that first page, I think that had things in it that he knew would give the solicitor Scarlett Wilson cover. And so then he gets he has the gall to go to the press conference. Mark Pepper has the gall to go to the press conference and act like, oh, everything's like immediate. We're fighting in real time, immediate. No, you knew what you did to muzzle folks. So give the solicitor time, to give SLED time, and to give the folks that you've been campaigning for, even though that they were no longer in office, to give them time to cover in case they had some issue. Most notably Al Cannon, right? And so that's why I want to play this real quick and put y'all up on game. If you follow me on IG, you already heard this spiel.
Brendan, one of the most talked about points of change for Sheriff Kristen Graziano when she was campaigning for the job was transparency. Now, some of those who supported her campaign are saying she hasn't lived up to the promise following the death of Jamal. They're losing faith.
I'm skipping Graziano's comments. Y'all know it. She's saying that she's changing. She's making changes. She was out there outside the facility the other day. We were there at the press conference. Y'all already heard that part, right? Look at this. Look at this part right here.
Some of her supporters say they're losing faith.
I don't have no faith in the sheriff we have now.
Okay. Jerome Hayward is not a supporter of the sheriff. He's not.
And by the way, I supported her.
He lying. So, sorry. And for those who are in community with this man, I know. Jerome, you know you didn't support this. You a whole GOP lobbyist. You a whole GOP. Why would a GOP lobbyist support Al Cannon, the previous Republican sheriff who was running for re-election? Why would a GOP lobbyist support a Democratic candidate for sheriff? So you don't play me. Don't play me. Then back here you got Tory Fields. Shout out to all of y'all who've been telling me more about Tory Fields. We already knew it was over for this dude, but shout out to y'all who really know this dude, and I'm gonna leave it at that. A lot of y'all knew a lot of those people, not the lawmakers, but a lot of these people who are getting bags from the GOP, who got bags from Al Cannon's reelection efforts, who continue to get bags and get opportunities from Scarlett Wilson. This is what made this thing with Mark Pepper so infuriating, and I didn't get to cover it. What made it so infuriating is that Mark Pepper is not just close to law enforcement. He did the bidding of local law enforcement. And I'm sure he was playing to both sides throughout this process. And I don't want to go too far into that because I do, again, want to hold the family. I want to think about the family when I give my critique. But I think it's fair to say, if you look at who Mark Pepper has aligned himself with traditionally, outwardly, explicitly, there's no other conclusion you can draw that this dude, this personal injury lawyer is working in concert with local law enforcement. I don't think that you can advocate for Scarlett Wilson. And how much praise did he heap upon Scarlett Wilson? He heaped so much praise on the solicitor. That's really weird if you're literally engaged in a lawsuit against these institutions that did things that led to the death of your client's son. It's interesting that you would give the system that actually participated in that, at least in that obscuring those facts and concealing those facts, you would give that institution praise, right? It makes you scratch your head. What also makes you scratch your head is why Mark Pepper chose at that press conference to flank the family and former incarcerated people. Why would you flank the family with Tory Fields and Shaquem Marquette, knowing that their checkered past and their history is problematic? Why wouldn't you have the family surrounded by the lawmakers who are actually creating legislation to bring about reforms? Why wouldn't you make sure that Wendell Gilliard, Marlon Kimpson, Marvin Pendarvis, who is a partner, I believe, at your law firm, Mark Pepper, why wasn't your colleague, why wasn't a member of your law firm right there behind the family? No, you had snitch ass Tory Fields there, David Ayler's homeboy, that's David Ayler's homeboy, and you had some other interests, GOP interests. You have a GOP lobbyist behind you, right? And you got Shaquem Marquette, Black MAGA. All those people supported Al Cannon. Why? The very system that was overseeing the jail, overseeing the staff and the protocols that led to the death of your client's son. And it boggles my mind that no one else's like hair is on fire. Why would you flank the family in that type of thing? Like, why wouldn't you make sure at the press conference that was going to be cut up and spliced and shared to CNN, to MSNBC, on Roland Martin? Why wouldn't you make sure that the optics looked right and you protect the interests of your client? I got that short answer. You don't give a fuck because you're getting what you need to get on the outside of the whole situation. It blew my mind how he did that. And Jerome, shame on you for misrepresenting your interests here. You did not support Sheriff Graziano. You are currently actively working to get her ousted, which won't happen. You have called for her resignation at this press conference. How the hell would you arrive at that conclusion on her second day? 3 hours on the job? You're calling for her resignation. You never called for Al Cannon's resignation, and he's been causing harm to people, and people have lost their lives in that prison over 30 years. People have lost their lives under his supervision. You've never called for the resignation of Al Cannon, but yet this woman, and I'm not caping for nobody. You know I'm not caping for no sheriff. But let's be real. 3 hours into her shift, 3 hours into her job, or 2 days, or whatever it was, and you're calling for her resignation, but you've been crickets. Jerome Hayward, you've been crickets when Al Cannon was running amok and kicking in doors and having ICE raid and having this contract with ICE and getting money for detaining asylum seekers, not just people who have who are undocumented, asylum seekers. You never called for any accountability. So shame on you for misrepresenting your interests and lying to this camera right here. And shame on the press for not asking, well, who are you? And if they did, because he's not. And it's the thing. This is what the media does here in Charleston. They just see color. Oh, he's black, so he must be in line with the Democratic Party. No. No. There are so many black conservatives who have positioned themselves as activists who are really doing the bidding of the GOP, who are in line with, who are getting bags of dark money to do things like disrupt the school board. We've seen what's been going on with Erica Coakley. A lot of the violence and the harassment that Erica Coakley continues to face. Shout out to Erica for sending me more information last night. You're still getting harassed, right? A lot of that was initiated by black conservatives who fed these right-wing groups information to get her off the school board, to get these dark money Coalition for Kids candidates on the school board. So let's keep it real. Like let's not. I don't have to call nobody names other than I know I call Tori a name, but like I ain't got to call your name to call it how I see it, and it's not cool. It's not cool. So stop it. Stop it. You did not support Sheriff Graziano. How the hell you going to support Sheriff Graziano when you've been at the table with Al Cannon and we got the receipts? Stop it.
That's horrendous. What job can you kill somebody and come back to work?
Deputies were ordered to extract Sutherland from his cell for a bond hearing.
Since that day, I have changed that policy and no longer allow forced bond hearings.
Thank God.
Mental health is an issue hot on the sheriff's radar, especially with many in the county's jail struggling.
We have 750 people in there and we have one mental health professional. It is just not enough, and we need more.
With all the calls for change,
we need more outside. We don't need more in the jail. We need more mental health solutions outside of the jail. We don't need more funds for the jail. We don't need more money for the jail.
Sheriff Graziano says her agency can't do it alone.
We're developing policies and procedures for mental health. We're working on that, but we need help. We need professionals' input. We don't have all the answers.
Answers yet to be uncovered. Questions still to be.
I'm trying not to see more footage of Jamal losing his life. I think they kind of go OD with it. With that, let me get to this part of how he wraps it up.
Now, just about an hour ago, we heard back from the Charleston County Sheriff's Office saying Sheriff Graziano has no response to the calls for her resignation because she says she hasn't yet heard those calls. For now, reporting live in downtown Charleston, Riley Benson. Count on.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Jerome Hayward turned right around and called for the resignation of Sheriff Graziano, but you supported her. You never called for the resignation of anything, and Al Cannon was the worst. The worst. Okay, let's look at the organizing efforts led yesterday, I believe, in support of Palestine. There was a pro-Israel group too. I'm just gonna scratch my head, and no, don't y'all even try it. Don't you even try it. Being pro-Israel does not make me anti-Semitic, 'cause I already hear that coming. They already tried. They keep trying that one. Not even gonna have it. We are pro-Palestine up in here, unapologetically so as well. We know what's going on.
News 2's Lexi Moore joins us live on the News 2 rooftop. Lexi, 2 events were held.
Shout out. I'm sorry. I don't mean to take away from the seriousness of this clip. Shout out. Get it, girl.
Today in the lowcountry, one pro-Israel and the other pro-Palestine.
America's pro-Palestine and pro-Israel groups say their goal today was to create peace and awareness. Both spoke about how this impacts them here in the lowcountry.
What
do we want? Peace
everywhere. You got freaking Meryl Chapman. This is the woman that tried to assault me, y'all. This is the woman that tried to assault me right here. She's so problematic, and she knows how to find people of color. If you see Meryl Chapman involved, just run the other way. And for those who didn't know, why do you have these strong feelings about Pastor Dixon? It's because he enabled this woman after she caused harm to me, and he knew that, and he continued to be in community. I believe he's still in community with her. This is the reason why I don't really fully trust certain leaders, like especially one that tried to assault me at my place of business, who had to be shouted out and almost physically removed from that situation. D, you already know because you threw your body between me and her. She did assault me. Thank you, D. Right. She did assault me. So whenever you see this woman snaking her way to POC-led or Black-led things, know that she doesn't really respect Black leadership. I'm sure I heard there was a little dust up between her and Erica Coakley's effort last summer. She'll withdraw her support like white women do whenever you call them out for their violence. She just pick up her toys and run away. But whenever you see Meryl Chapman, just know it's been widely reported. Very violent woman, very, very, very violent woman. So anyone who bang with her, I don't really trust you. So that's it.
What do we want? Peace everywhere.
We want it now.
Here in Charleston, what do we want?
Why is she even at the front? Fall back.
Palestine
You're not
demonstrators
Palestinian.
standing side by side in Marion Square, calling for peace for Palestine.
Please do not remove people. Please do not usurp others' rights.
That's right.
Please leave people in peace.
Activists say they're fighting to have a say in where their tax money goes.
We do not want American money or tax money that we're paying going to killing Palestinians.
Pro-Palestine group says speaking out in the low country is one step forward they want to take to help create change on the United States' influence on the conflict between Israel and Hamas.
This is an unequal war. This is not a war. This is massacre from one side.
Pro-Israel demonstrators walked the Ravenel Bridge carrying flags.
Yo, you know what this is right here. This is the right. I'm sure KKK Corey's over there. I wouldn't be surprised if the KKK and Proud Boys infiltrated this group.
In support of Israel. Some say starting awareness locally can help bring communities together.
We wanted to bring awareness and love just about what's happening around Israel. They bring, during times of chaos and...
Who is this? Can y'all tell me who this is? Victor Hyman? Who is Victor Hyman? Oh, Jennifer on Facebook, you said the group, the Overton Report, is also anti-teacher. Yeah. Oh, I don't need to look into it, Jennifer Wicker. We know about KKK Corey Allington, whatever his name is, the guy that broke and entered into people's car and stole their radios. Yeah, those mom groups got a whole felon leading them, which is really interesting. But who is this Victor Hyman dude?
Trouble. It tightens communities.
Victor Hyman recently returned to the United States after serving in the Israeli armed forces.
Oh my gosh.
I needed to participate in this march mainly because to raise awareness about the situation with what's happening in Israel right now.
Demonstrators say change must start with bringing those who are pro-Israel and those who are pro-Palestine together.
We do not want war. We are against arms. We are against war. For God's sake, spread love.
Okay.
We reached out to Charleston Police Department. We're told both demonstrations were peaceful and no arrests were made. Live on the news.
Wow. We didn't arrest anyone, y'all. We're exceptional, right? All right, let's, I wanted to head to Live 5 News as well. I think that is the legislation filed. I already went off about that. Death investigation. Yeah, that's it. My little joke. Okay. So let's hop over here to Live 5 News. Let's take a look. I'm gonna hit refresh. Live 5 News has been, I guess CBS has the PGA coverage this week. So I think CBS and CBS News affiliates have the PGA coverage. Yeah, that's the protest over there. Let's see, let's keep scrolling down. Health Department, SC for Ed. Again, SC for Ed canceled their protest because of the threats. That's crazy. Let's play this real quick. It's gonna be an ad, or it's not a video. But yeah, so SC for Ed had to cancel their protest. Yeah, the Overton Report and all those other groups that work with the Proud Boys and other violent, vicious groups and militias, they just will not stop harassing folks. The SC for Ed, reach out to me if you need security. If you need some sort of security, I have resources. We can band together and get y'all security, because you can't let these groups derail you. But I do know that they're serious, and they're serious about, they're very aggressive. Very aggressive. So shout out to SC for Ed. We know how powerful you are. And we've seen it. We've seen y'all take over an entire state house. It felt like 10,000 people were out there. I don't know what the official number was in Columbia a few years ago, but it was amazing. So keep it up. Keep it up. I can't believe Mayor Summey put his name on that library. How many public schools have closed since Mayor Summey's been in office? Let me see. PGA. I don't want to keep showing Jamal Sutherland information. All right, let's hop into what I said I was going to talk about, because I have to hop off at 8:30. Let's hop into, I want to delicately talk about efforts that local organizers are leading to, am I back? Can you see me? Still frozen? Looks like I'm good. Okay. All right. I'm going to keep talking. Looks like oh, I see. Oh, yeah. I saw all y'all jumped off. Okay. What the hell? Okay. Looks like Facebook is still on there. Not quite sure. Okay. Cool. Yep, back at it again. I have no clue. I'm gonna have to figure this out. But okay, so I wanted to go back up. I still see your chat here. The chat here is SC for Ed. SC for Ed has a card of things you can do today to help support. Right, and definitely that. Check that out when you get a chance. Let me see. Okay, I see viewers came back. Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the tool. Dang, I hate when that happens. Sorry about that, y'all. Keep rolling. So yeah, SC for Ed has a card of like a list of a call to action card. Yes, so I'll try to support that. To support that. I'm back. Yeah, you have to leave and come back. When that happens, just leave and come back. It says I've only been live for 2 minutes, but looks like Facebook kept going. Not quite sure what's going on. All right. And let me see, Johnny, you said something earlier. They were supposed to have a teacher rally in Columbia, but had to cancel because of threats. Yeah, it's corny. I was trying to show y'all the Jamal Sutherland news roundup, national outlets that have covered it. Don't like all the framing, but it is getting attention. Video footage of the death of Jamal Sutherland stirs outrage. Mentally ill man repeatedly shocked. Washington Post, New York Times, NBC News. It was Tiffany Cross covered it this weekend. These are local news outlets. WCIV did some trash framing earlier. They fixed it, but it was very, very violent. They basically blamed Jamal's death on himself. So CNN got a little bit of coverage here over the weekend. Yeah. All right. So I wanted to hop over to and talk about the planned action. We're being very careful being very careful with what we post on social media. But just know, I'm just gonna say this. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Okay, I'm gonna just share this real quick. What up, Captain Glitter? Thanks for the sub. Thank you for the sub. Thank y'all for rocking with me and coming right back. I appreciate y'all. First press secretary mentioned him. Yep, during the briefing. So just know that I'm part of a coalition of folks. DM me for more information. Sign up for the Charleston Activist Network newsletter. But we are asking for specific demands. We're calling for justice. And we're calling for the system. We need to address this as a system issue. As I've shown on my IG account, that the system is the issue. No matter what Mark Pepper has tried to do and tried to say, hey, any protests, any planned actions are in opposition of what the family wants. We're not calling for broken windows. We're not calling for anything. We're calling for, as part of this collective, we're calling for sweeping changes to how business is done here in Charleston regarding policing, especially when it comes to policing folks on the margins. I'm gonna blow it up a little bit more. We've made these public to people that we're in community with. Admittedly, I probably should have asked the group, could we share these, but I'm going to share them here. We're asking for police accountability. We demand that officers involved in Jamal Sutherland's killing be fired. I am not calling for their arrest. I'm not calling for them to be charged. I don't believe in that. But as the group, I stand 100% behind this statement. We are calling for them that any type of accountability tools we got at our disposal, throw them all at them. We are calling for them to be held accountable. Especially, we need to know about their record in terms of like disciplinary actions, times that they've assaulted the imprisoned population. We're calling for changes to that, right? So here we also demand independent, not internal investigation, right? I'm going to skip down a little bit. Divest from the carceral system and invest in public health, right? So if we're calling for the divestment from I'm just going to read that off. That's it. We demand Charleston County Sheriff's Office, North Charleston Police, and Charleston Police Department each reallocate a portion of their respective budgets for the creation of a community safety and violence prevention department. And then this last one, and these are just a quick snapshot. We have longer lists, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But we're also calling for community control here. We demand the establishment and funding of Public Safety Accountability Council. We demand an establishment and funding of a Public Safety Accountability Council, which consists of county residents, including community members impacted by law enforcement. Something with some teeth, with subpoena power, with the ability to impact budgets and also salaries. I know there's no police union here, but we're calling for that as well. Okay, so that's it. That's all I wanted to share here. Let me switch screens real quick. So again, did I lose people again? I don't know. All right. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. No, it looks like I'm still there. But just so you know, to find out more actions, to find out more about the actions taking place today and actions taking place throughout the week, hit me up. Sign up for the newsletter. Let's talk. Last thing I want to say. Oh God, I wish I was on the first chunk, but I'll say it here. So all the male organizers out there, last year we kind of went through things really fast, and folks were finding their footing, folks were finding their voices, folks were figuring it out. As someone who is an experienced organizer here, one thing that we seem to have not figured out from last year is that male organizers, you've been warned. You've been warned. No longer will I tolerate the way you talk to Black women the way you've been doing it. No longer will I sit back and let you go around and run amok and talk to Black women and talk to women organizers like we're trash. Yes, I'm gonna let you know this. A lot of the women that I stand next to are extraordinary. Shaquille is extraordinary. Letitia Amara is extraordinary. Okay. there are countless other people I organize with that are extraordinary. Treva is not a black woman, but she is extraordinary. Emily Walter of ACLU, extraordinary. And so when our brilliance shines through and it intimidates or it makes your male ego feel small, it damages your male ego, that's something you're going to have to work out with your shrink. That's something you're going to have to work out in counseling. That's something you're going to work out with your priest, your mama, whatever. You're going to have to work that out on your own, but what you will not do is continue to talk to black women like you have lost your mind. Not only that, you're not going to go out here and be messy. And then whenever we raise an objection about how y'all move, we're not going to take the disrespect. We can talk about your behavior and hold you accountable. You can't be out here asking for police accountability, but not be willing to be held accountable by your community. It will stop. It will stop because I'm going to start saying names and I'm going to start daylighting some things. I'm going to start sharing conversations when I get permission from people who have been harmed. I'm going to start naming names. Okay. So you can't be out here advocating for end to police violence when you're causing violence in your community. And if you're a black organizer and you're uncomfortable with holding your black men, your black male colleagues accountable, you are part of the problem, and you're probably perpetuating harm too. So you are on the clock. No more abuse, no more violence toward black women. We are literally the backbone of the movement going on right now. Black women are running and scrambling. We are hopping in our cars. We are helping y'all out. We're giving y'all PPEs. We're giving y'all money. We're literally bailing y'all out of jail. And you still keep treating us and talking crazy to us whenever we express an opinion that differs from yours. Enough is enough. Stop being a child and stop being an abuser and yield. So guess what? Somebody who's been doing this maybe since they were in college, and I'm 40. I've been doing this since I was in undergrad. Might know a couple more things than you, and that's okay. Come with what you have. Come with your skill set. But no longer will I tolerate y'all talking to us. Let me see if I saw something because I swore something just came into my inbox. Yeah, I don't like the way people talk to me. Like, I just don't like the way people talk to me. Don't summon me. No. This okay with respecting seasoned organizers, and it seems like y'all can respect the OG men that are problematic. Y'all can respect them without qualification, without anything, but you can't respect women who have this different analysis, this analysis of your work and how you move. And I can tell that y'all haven't done the work to unpack your own misogyny. Y'all haven't done the work to unpack your own patriarchal views. You haven't done that work, but you think, because he's anti-police violence so that he's okay. No. You can be anti-police violence and problematic as fuck. Look at Meryl Chapman. Meryl Chapman's a whole racist, anti-black woman who's out there talking about, pro-Palestine things, and she's a whole racist. Like, it happens. So you've been warned. No more. It's too much. And look, we all can get shine. If you want shine, I don't want shine. I want to dismantle these systems. We're all doing things. You all are pretty, boys. You all handsome. Golly, I'm over it. All right, so stop it. Cut it out. All right, I'm gonna hop off. Y'all take care. Again, hit me up on IG. Hit me up in the DMs if you want to know about actions plan coming up. It's just, if I'm standing next to people this emphatically, not just showing up at a rally, but if I'm standing with people this solidly, trust and know that we taking safety into concern. We've been thoughtful intention. It's not about numbers. I'm gonna speak for myself. This could be the start of real work here. It could be a start of real coalition building here, right? It's okay to start modest, right? I know other people out here trying to get every headline and trying to have what happened last year happen again. That's not going. I've been living in Charleston long enough to know that what happened is unusual, and it was a perfect storm of a lot of things. Okay. So it's okay if we start modest. We can crawl and build to a crescendo. We can do this. We don't have to be out here trying to get headlines. That's not the objective. The objective is to have a great strategy in place and build each action. We build upon each action, and it's okay. It's okay, right? Look at that group that showed up at Marion Square. I think it was 40 people. That's great. That's great that tourists saw a pro-Palestine group in Marion Square advocating for their rights. That's great. 40 people. And then the next time they organize, right, they'll be in community with other members, and they'll get bigger and bigger and stronger. But not just bigger, stronger, smarter. Look at SC for Ed. They're amazing. They're an amazing group. So we gotta just keep doing the work and not worry so much about rally size. That's not the objective. Impact on the state, on the system is the objective, right? That's right, Jazz. You build. Yep. All right. That's it. That's my spiel. I went over about 6 minutes. Take care. Let me go put some makeup on because Lord knows. Lord knows. All right. Let's get it together. Y'all take care. I'm going to end the stream right now. Bye.